Katlego says it, you'll say she's self-hating, so I will let one of the people that many black people look up to say it for me.
Problem we have, you forgive me on this, but this is not me talking, these are the stats. We have a problem with the black man in South Africa.
Maybe now you'll hear me. Maybe now you'll respect the facts, the numbers, and the truth. That is the Police Commissioner KZN Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi telling us about the trends of crimes in South Africa. Not in my words, but in his. The biggest problems we have in South Africa are the black people. Is he also a coconut for saying that? I wonder. Basically, the same communities that produce these horrible criminals are the same communities that will elect horrible politicians. The same kinds of people who are wreaking havoc in their neighborhoods are the same ones who never show up for Parents' Day at school to talk to the teacher about how to improve their child's school performance. Not a nice thing to say, right? But facts first, cry later.
A lot of activities happening in and around this district. 40% in this past financial year, 40% of our cases are coming from here. So if we can deal with the Tegwini's problem, followed by Mgungundlovu, we will have won the war. So it's more peaceful to live at Mzinyati district, to live at Herikwala district, to live at Mkhanyakude district, than to live at Tegwini. So these are the stats, and these are the biggest, this Tegwini district, Mgungundlovu, they account for the biggest number of informal settlements that we have. The biggest number of liquor outlets, biggest number of all the wrong things, unemployment, kids that are dropping out of school and they wander on the street and they commit crime. They are all within this Tegwini district. So we need to identify what the problem is and how then do we fix it going forward. Our perpetrators, Premier, we felt we must put this light so that we can identify what is our problem, because we need to analyze what is the problem. The problem we have, you forgive me on this, but this is not me talking, these are the stats. We have a problem with the black man in South Africa.
It is the same group of people who can't or won't try to help their children with homework. The same kinds of people who view white people as a cause of all their problems. Those are the same people who fail to see the real problem in the type of information being shared here by the Commissioner.
You forgive me on this, but this is not me talking, these are the stats. We have a problem with the black man in South Africa. We have a serious problem. What we see here, we put the colors, the races of perpetrators that we've arrested. All the green, as you can see, almost everything is green here, which means almost everything is black that is committing crime. Out of total of 60,000 cases, criminals that were arrested between the age of 16 and 25 years old, 16 and 25 years old, we arrested 60,000 criminals in this past financial year, in this period of 5 years, I beg your pardon, not in financial year, this 5-year period that we are counting. Out of this number, 57,691 of them were black men. Out of 60,000, 57,000 of them are black men.
Imagine that. School dropouts, shebeens next to schools, informal settlements, and of course, high unemployment. Where is the ANC to admit that the grants are not working? Where is the ANC to admit that the removal of discipline from schools is not working? Where is the ANC to admit that single-parent households are not working? Meanwhile, we have people putting Penuel to talk about fatherhood when his definition of fatherhood is a donation of the seed, provision of monthly payments, and occasional visits.
Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you so much for making yourselves available for this very emotive conversation, as you said. And Ben, I'd like to start with you because you sparked this debate by making yourself vulnerable, going onto social media and saying you will now be withholding, as they call it, papgeld or support from 3 of your 7 children because you're allegedly denied access. Perhaps help us understand the context of this.
Thank you very much for the invite and a very good day to your viewers. So I'm not here just in my personal capacity. A big part of the reason why I came here is because there are so many fathers in this country, in a fatherless pandemic country, that are trying to be present fathers and for various reasons are struggling. So for many years, I've documented my story online, on YouTube, etc. I think as my profile has grown with podcasting, whenever I share my stories now, they gain more of a reach. I'm hoping that this can open a conversation, because at the end of the day, I think all of us are here in the best interest of the children. Many of us realize that our society is broken in many ways, and a big part of it is because fathers are not present. And some of us are just trying to say, we want to be dads, we want to raise our kids, we want to love them. And I was just sharing my story in that regard. And as you correctly pointed out, it is not for all my kids. I've got very good co-parenting relationships elsewhere, but just specifically with these three, and in particular one, it's been a very, very tough 11-year journey.
Help us understand, these mothers, why are they saying they're denying you access? Because that has been a debate as well. From their perspective, just from what you know, what are they saying? Why have they decided to deny you access?
So there's no official reason that has been documented outside of them speaking to a family advocate or a magistrate stating that they just don't trust me.
Come on, guys. Let's not pretend that men like Penuel or Elon Musk fathering a bunch of children with multiple women is commendable. It is not.
So I have 6 amazing children from 4 different mothers. 4 boys, 2 girls, which means I need more girls. Furthermore, I'm not married to any of the mothers. And people attack me for that as well. And I don't believe in the concept of formal marriage. Spoken about this before, and maybe I'll speak about it at some point again. All my children are planned, by the way. These are not oopsies and mistakes and, oh, I was drunk and, we were having such a good time. I don't drink. I don't smoke. All my children are planned. Broke up with the mother of number 1 and number 3. I never really dated number 2's mom. We had an agreement and an arrangement to conceive and to have a child. Our relationship at the time got strained, and we had problems moving forward, and that's why I've kind of struggled with access to my son. I love my children. I love the idea of having children. I would love to have more children. To be honest, I wish I had 10, at the very least. I was born to be a father. Fathering is the most natural thing to me. Anyone who's ever seen me around my children will know how much I love my kids, will know how much my kids love me. My children love me. And I love my children very much. They give me a true sense of purpose. They're not girls from broken homes where they've got absent dads and daddy issues. And these are strong, independent, intelligent women. Smart, capable. They make their own money. They get to go wherever they want and they don't need my permission. That's why they get to travel overseas. They get to work where they want. And that's the beauty of being with a woman who's intelligent and who's independent. Otherwise, I could go and find some ignorant rural girl who doesn't speak for herself, who calls me Yebo Baba, and give her 8 kids and find 5 of them and end up with like 40 children. But that's not the type of person I am. That's not the type of woman I'm attracted to. And that's part of the reason why my children are going to be amazing. They've got an amazing father, dynamic father, and they've got an amazing mom, dynamic mom that comes from a dynamic family. Why am I not married to these women? Okay, number 1, I don't believe in marriage. Number 2, these women are not some toys and puppets where I just get to dictate, hey, you will marry me, you will marry me. Hey, since I have children with all of you, I'm going to marry all of you. When you think like that, it means you actually demean women. You look down on women and you think, don't these women have a mind of their own? They do. They get to make their own decisions. They have come into my life and they have left my life as and when they please, as they've done in other past relationships.
A lot of times we judge people who make children when they cannot afford to provide for those children. But rich people and some middle class people might be able to provide for their children financially. But when it comes to time, there is nothing, no lie that you can tell me to make me believe that having children with multiple women will allow you to spend enough time with those children. It's necessary to provide wisdom, discipline, love, and guidance on top of the financial support. Many people's children are becoming wayward simply because their fathers are absent, even if the fathers are providing for them financially and seeing them on the weekend.
I understand how important it is for fathers to be as present as they can be, for fathers to impart knowledge and information and wisdom and skills, for me to toughen my kids up, to expose them to my networks, to make sure that I'm building them. And also, to give mom a break. Mom also needs to have a good time, to live her life. The guy is cooped up in his own lounge, or he's always with his boys drinking, or he's always out. But he's meant to be married and present. My kids get to watch me anywhere in the world. They get to rewind and go back. They've got my books. They can read my books at any given time. They have access to me, they have resources. And on top of that, they have loving moms and a great network from my family, from their mom's family, and everyone around them.
Many of the children will turn into monsters if they grow up in the communities mentioned by this senior police official. Many of them will become monsters because a father to tell them to dress appropriately was not there. Many of them will become monsters because a father to constantly mold their behavior and force curfew and correct them was not fully present. Many will turn into monsters because a father and mother to help with homework was not there. My husband and I are both there for our children, and yet we still don't have enough time to play our role as much as we would like to. What more with single parents? Guys, there is no amount of money that will protect you from bad influences. There is no amount of money that will protect you from the suffering you will endure due to the absence of a father in your life. Hard work, discipline, respect, honor, honesty. These are the things that parents are responsible for instilling in their children, especially fathers. But hey, these young people are growing up on the corners of streets. Girls go to school in miniskirts. They're falling pregnant and getting STDs as teenagers. Boys are experimenting with various substances and associating with people who encourage them to drop out. Meanwhile, the adults are with another family. The father will only see them at the weekend. Guess what? The same communities and individuals that are unable to see that this is a problem, that we as Black people need to correct this, end up supporting podcasters like Penuel instead of calling them out when they encourage nonsense instead of being ashamed of their bad habits. The same communities elect people like Malema who tell you that prostitution is acceptable. They elect these parties that celebrate or encourage baby making when you are not ready emotionally or financially. We need leaders that start calling out the problems within our societies. Yes, we have the freedom to choose, but how do we explain choosing wrong over and over and over again? In everything you do in life, just remember it is a choice that will come with consequences. You chose to buy a big piece of land and that fancy car when you chose to study and not sleep around when you were still in high school. You chose to go to jail and kill when you chose the gun to do your earning. You chose to be there for your children when you chose one partner to marry, settle down with, and have children with. Even when you sometimes don't like him or her, even when the butterflies have left your tummy, you stay because deep inside there is still that thing you fell in love with. You also stay for the sake of the children because this life is no longer just about you. You stay because you have honor. You will not leave just because you're now famous or rich or because some guy or girl who is prettier or more handsome is noticing you now. You chose. Now protect your little piece of happiness. Let your children see a real mother and father. See what they do to protect their little nest. Do everything in your power to raise honorable, wise, and moral human beings. What we do as parents determines if the children we raise end up being part of the statistics that Police Commissioner Mkhwanazi mentioned. Let us do what is right for these human beings that we have been entrusted with. Anyway, what do you think about what Mkhwanazi said? Is this police commissioner lying? What are we to do or to make of his statements? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Please also like, share, and subscribe. You can support our work through one of 3 ways that are all listed in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.